So we start the episode off with Kiowa, not Kiowa. Kiowa isn't there yet. It's Kimmy and Maurice. That's when it begins. They are back at the table. They reversed it back or rewind it back to when he is telling her he's got to go. So Kimmy's sitting there looking irritated, and I understood more why she was irritated when he left, because when Kiowa and Zave got there, I think that's his name. I just can't catch it. Even I just finished watching it and I still can't catch his name. But she has to tell, Maurice wants to make sure that Kimmy tells Kiowa and Zave, Kiowa's husband, about what Tiffany said at that brunch. So she does tell them, and then Kaya was just like, yeah, that's wow, that just really floored me with that or whatever. And so it's just a conversation from then on about, co-parenting and how they want to make sure that that Monster understands that they all talk to each other, so that if she needs to confirm something that Monster is doing, she can call Kimmy, blah, 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 blah. So it started off awkward, but I just think it's wild that Maurice would leave her to have that conversation, even if he just told her, no, you don't have to say anything about that without me, because that was a little cowardice, to be honest. If that was his whole entire intention, if he did that intentionally, that was cowardice. So then it goes to Tisha and Destiny meeting up at the dealership. Marcel he owes her a graduation gift, and the graduation gift is going to be a hot girl summer car and a work truck. So she invited Destiny because Destiny is from the Motor City. Destiny apparently knows a lot about cars, so she's going to have her there to help her decide. They discuss, she tells her about how they went on a trip, and how, Kyra, I think, is Kyra her name? Kyra, I think. Yeah, Kyra. They talk about how Kyra was walking up to Maurice, and how Destiny was not having that. And Destiny brings up, Kimmy or Tisha always is positive about their relationship. She never really wants to talk about the dark side, but I have heard about the rumors out here, and it's just, who knows what the truth is. And it's just these friendships, but it's just like y'all y'all are wild. Anyway, so they go test drive this car. It's a nice car, of course, or very luxurious. And then Mel calls. Okay, Mel calls on FaceTime and invites them over. I really think that Mel knew they were hanging up and just hanging out and wanted to just put her face in it. You know how people do. She invites them over to a taco, talk it. I think she called it a taco or talk it party or something like that. But it's a taco get together or something. Anyway, so she wanted to have all the girls over. And Destiny's like, well, who's gonna be there? And then she's just like Tiffany, and then Destiny's eyes get real big, and Tisha doesn't know who Tiffany is. She's like, well, what's going on? So they agree that they're gonna go, and then Destiny says to Tisha, she's like, girl, I gotta tell you about your girl Mel. So she's harboring some issues with Melody, and she decides to tell Tisha. Which is just like, are these people really friends? These friendships are just wild, because it's just like, how, the bone, you just, what time it is very well with Tisha and Melody. But it's just like, is there loyalty? I don't care what nobody say. Loyalty is something, like, even amongst adults. And everyone expects some level of loyalty, whether they admit it or not. And I don't care. I don't care what people say about that, because it's just a fact. So, where is the loyalty amongst friends? Like, if someone is so close to you as Melody and Destiny act like they are, like, why are you? If and you know what time it is with Melody. I'm gonna say Mel, because her name might be, it's Melody. I was thinking her name might be Melanie because I forget names, but even on the third season. But yeah, so Mel, you know how Mel and Tisha are, so why are you carrying bones to Tisha, like, and talking to her about your issue? Was that your plan all along? Did you, well, let me go and get close to Tisha because me and Mel are about to have a fallout, so let me go get close to Tisha. Is that what time it is? Okay, let's see. So she's like, let me tell you about your girl Mel. Mel brought this girl Tiffany there. They just came and brought some cold tea. She came talking about how she met me before, or she thought she met me before, but who she really met was my ex-husband's girlfriend. And Tisha's like, ex-husband? Like, what you talk about? Because remember, Tisha wasn't there. And she's like, because I'm divorced. And Tisha's like, oh, no. She's like, yeah, that's just how it goes sometimes. So then so that goes on to Tisha. Then it goes on to Tisha and Marcel meeting up at the counseling office, at the counselor's office. Of course, Marcel doesn't know about the counseling. The counseling goes hilariously. It's, I just hate to say it because the last episode was so freaking uplifting and positive about them. And I know that's how, any relationship goes, marriage especially. You're going to have some good times, you're going to have some bad times. You have good and bad. It's just like, sometimes it's just like, oh. But the reason why this irritates me after watching, Put a Ring on It and talking about Darian the way I did is because I like Marcel. And I like him and Tisha together, and I just want them to be so much better. But Marcel is acting so typically just narcissistic, honestly. The way that Marcel is acting is, to me, like, it's different because Darian is not doing anything. He's not producing anything for Alexia. He's not producing anything for Alexia. Like, I mean, that I know of. It's just, I don't know. You just see all the fruit of what Marcel is doing with Tisha and him. And the counselor is trying to get him to see, like, Tisha's, of course, her issue is that he doesn't spend enough time with them. And Marcel was like, it's funny you have this issue when you just enjoy all the fruits of of what I'm doing while I'm not with you. It just doesn't make any sense. Is that what you and him are saying are not facts, because all the time that I give you is having a roof over your head and all this blah blah blah. And he just says all this narcissistic stuff, like the I'm just glad that I have made your life so comfortable that your ability to complain has reached new heights, or something like that. Just something ridiculous. And he's just blowing the counselor's mind, because it's just like, what in the world? And so, because he's just saying, like, I need to make this money to do what we have to do. And Tisha, and you want to be this superwoman and do all this extra stuff, that's on you. And Tisha's just like, it's not about being superwoman. It's about me. I went to college to do this stuff. I'm just living out my dreams. And he's just like, okay, well, it is what it is. And Tisha also implies that the money, she spends her money on all this stuff. So she doesn't know why he's acting like, that he, pays all this stuff. And then he says that he does pay all the bills. And the doctor is like, so anyway, so it's just a whole bunch of regular stuff. The doctor's mind is blown by Marceau, and he says his ability, he can talk himself out of a rock quarry. I don't know how that makes sense. Is that a saying? But that's what he says. I say that Marcel can sell, wooden nickels to any damn body, except for me, maybe. Like I said, I still like him, but so the doctor just pointed out, he's just like, is Marcel vulnerable with you, Tisha? And Tisha's just like, well, no, he really does the same thing, with me. He just talks over everything. It's just like I'm talking to a brick wall or something. And he's just like, and Marcel is like, I'm not gonna bring my wife to my problems. I'm not going to bring my problems to my wife. I'm just not going to do it, And so the doctor's mind is just freaking blown. And Marcel is like, listen, let's do this. If you want some quality time, I will, hold on. So he pulls out his phone and he says, Siri, set up a date time for 8 p.m. on Thursday. And the doctor is like, no, he just said, you see what he just did? He set an appointment for you. If I don't need to tell Siri to do something to remind me to do something that's important to me. And the teacher's just like, looking like, And he's just like, look, honey, you are important to me. And I didn't understand the doctor's response to that. Maybe, I don't know, just because they are busy people. So I have to set reminders to take pills. It's important to me. My life is important to me. So I don't know, but the doctor felt like that was wrong or whatever. So Marcel just says, so I'm sorry I haven't been there for you. I'm gonna fix that or whatever. So then he says, well, let's do this every 15 years. He's making a joke, isn't to say he doesn't really find what they did there helpful. He said, Doc, I'm cured. So the doctor's like, yeah, we'll see you next time or whatever. So they go outside and they continue to argue. And Marcel is just like, the funny thing is like I said, I call you to go on dates and stuff like that. And you just be, you don't have time because you're doing other shit. So Tisha just walks off. And so that was weird because it's just like, so what is the real truth? And again, this is marriage. You never know. It's two sides of the truth, or, was it two sides to the truth? And then there's the truth or something, whatever. Two sides of the story. And then there's the truth. And the truth lies somewhere in between, something like that. The saying. But so that's that with that. Tisha walks off. She's irritated. Kind of seems like there was nothing really accomplished there, but the fact that they have issues, just like anybody else. So then it goes on to what is it? Let me see. It goes on to Maurice meeting up with Kiowa and Monster. And this situation was kind of irritating to me because I just don't like how they keep putting these kids on the spot, especially like the younger kids now. Because Maurice wants to keep making the point that you are a black man. You can't be making these. It's the worst thing you've ever done. You have a short leash as a black man. People are not going to forget it. You're going to have to make them forget it. And it's going to be damn near impossible because you're a black man. These are conversations that I'm sure need to happen, but I just felt uncomfortable for Monster, especially since because Kimmy in the first scene, Kimmy brought up that she didn't want to talk, that she wasn't going to bring up Maurice's or Monster's girlfriend in Michigan, Even though she kind of wanted to, she just wasn't going to do it because she didn't think it was her place. She would leave it to Maurice. So they're back. They go to the Air and Space Museum and hang out. And Maurice is reminiscing of doing stuff with Monster when he was little, and that's when they get onto this conversation about the vaping and how you have to watch what you do as a black man. You have to think things through. And then they get on to the part about the girlfriend, and that's when I'm just like, I'm really just like, come on, stop putting these kids on the spot, because you have people talking about them like there's something wrong with them, and I'm just like, stop. But so then he said he starts talking about, you're at the age now where you're going to want to start having sex, and they having the birds and the bees talk on live TV with this kid who's definitely old enough to be embarrassed as heck. You know what I'm saying? Like, gosh. And the kid and Monster ends up saying, I'm not going to do any of that stuff until I'm 24 in a healthy marriage. He made sure to point that out. I wonder why he did that. You tried to play me and then let me play you. Or he could have just been, I don't know. I'm not going to put too much on that because he's, an innocent child, and it's already enough that they got him on TV talking about this crazy mess. So the next scene is, the demon Tiffany. She's getting her demon self together. I don't know how she can see her reflection in the mirror, because demons can't see their reflection in the mirror, right? Like, isn't that a thing? She's a demon. And then she's telling her husband how she's going to go to this brunch or this party, this taco party with the girls. And then she's talking about how it's going to be awkward because of how how everything went about. She told her she's telling her husband what she said to Destiny to piss her off, and the husband's just like, well, you could have. It's always a way to say things, but a mistake is a mistake. It's an innocent mistake. They shouldn't be too mad. But she's just like, yeah, it shouldn't be a big deal. If it's a big deal, then kind of like screw her. Just being very stank. Like I didn't know. Just Tiffany is just. I just can't even spend too much time on this. I just can't stand her already. I don't think it's going to be a redeeming moment for her because she's just not and she doesn't have an endearing quality. I want because Destiny is kind of growing on me, and Destiny was kind of a jerk when she first came on. Isn't it funny, like how Mel has these messy friends that she brings on the show to just start mess? Seemingly, they all have an issue before they even have a storyline. The first thing that happens with them is that they start mess. Maybe Destiny knows that, and maybe that's why she identified, instead of just completely being irritated with Tiffany and just thinking she was trash. Maybe that's why she told Tisha that she thinks that she wonders if Mel knew about if Mel knew what Tiffany was going to say when she brought her to her birthday brunch. These friends is just like, oh. That brings me to Tisha showing up at Mel's house for the taco situation, the taco party, talk about it party. Mel or Tisha's looking great. She's very summer print, very African vibe. Looking like a Kenya doll. Got her ponytail and all that stuff going on. I shouldn't say it's African print, but it's a print dress that gives like an African vibe to me. And keep Tisha's complete, chocolate goodness. So she looks like a goddess. When she does, I love Tisha. And even though what she's about to do is going to get on my nerves. So she shows up looking beautiful. Mel answers the door and looking like a teenager from Crystal Lake that's about to get murdered because she just is going to have premarital sex. Like, Mel, I don't understand your style. I don't understand what's going on. So they kiki and they talk about how Tisha went to counseling, as they discussed before, per Mel's suggestion. They talk about how good it went. Tisha was happy because the doctor really was getting into Marceau's tail. He didn't really say too much to Tisha, and Tisha really didn't have to say too much, but the doctor naturally realized who the real problem was. According to Tisha, and Mel was like, well, she said that according to her, everything went well. I hope it really went well. Just kind of with that whole, they just don't believe Tisha about her marriage. They just think her marriage is horrible, and she's just being positive about it for whatever reason. But she also makes this thing was she couldn't fix the doctor Francis couldn't fix Martel, so she don't know how he's gonna fix Marceau, just whatever, just this petty stuff or whatever. So Tisha does to annoy me is Tisha goes in and lets Mel know. I don't know. She goes in and lets Mel know that Destiny. Mel tells her about the guest list, and when she says Tiffany, Tisha's just like, well, Mel, Destiny told me that Tiffany is kind of a shit starter, because she just came in and talking all this junk or whatever, and Mel's like, what I wouldn't say she's a shit starter. I think it was just a regular conversation. Mel, you fake. Anyway, Tisha goes on to say, I think that, Destiny's kind of irritated with you because she think you might have knew what was about to happen. So, I guess y'all are going to talk about that or whatever. And I'm just like, Tisha, there's a lot of schools of thought on when keeping it real goes wrong? Like, is there, because you have keeping it real, then you have tact, you have time and place, you have class, you have discernment. It's just many schools of thought on how people should deal with stuff like that. I found that messy, but I don't know that Tisha owes a single one of them a tight lip. I don't know who's supposed to be loyal to anyone. It seems to me that Tisha, has been told time and time again that loyalty means nothing to these people. So I don't know. Anyway, so then Tiffany comes on in. Then Tisha's, remembers that she knows Tiffany, or she realizes that she knows Tiffany from the Chamber of Commerce. And then she's just like, yeah, I know her, but I don't trust her because I still think she was stirring the pot. And then Kimmy comes in, and Kimmy and Tisha's very happy to see Kimmy, which is cool. And then, Kimmy is just saying, like, I don't, I know I got to be cordial here, and I want to say something to Tiffany, and I feel kind of uncomfortable, but I want to let Maurice, have that conversation with them. So, kind of just like Maurice. So that happens, and so then Destiny comes in, and they all sit down to eat, and Destiny's wait, first Destiny's irritated because she's, I guess, locked out. I guess it's by the way, Mel does say to her in her confessional that she's irritated that Destiny would bring this up to Mel, knowing that, or bring this up to Tisha, knowing what type time her and Tisha's relationship is on. So I think she probably locked Destiny out intentionally. So they go outside. When Destiny gets there, they all they're all sitting down already and eating, and then Destiny's greeting everyone, and then right away Mel says, so I understand you got an issue. Oh, no. Mel says very Mel like. Mel says, hey, so Tisha actually knows Tiffany, and then Destiny's like, okay, because what's that supposed to mean to her, right? But we know when it's Mel, it's just the same thing where it's like, we're gonna all be against you now, type thing. Tisha has listened to me about the way I feel about Tiffany, and ugh, I can't stand it. So this is a very passive aggressive situation. Mel is trying to get into her. It lets her know that Tisha told her about their conversation, and she keeps badgering her, wanting to know what it is the problem. Why would you tell her that? What was wrong with what Tiffany said? Just being very dick-like. Tiffany was also still being dick-like, Destiny was holding her ground, and that was it. Destiny let her know I might answer these questions later on at another time, but right now I just want to eat my food. And so we'll see next episode where this goes to, because they save the best for the next episode. These people are not friends. Just not even close to it. And Mel is a snake. Mel is a snake. And Tiffany gotta go. That's just how that go. That's just how that goes.